it is time to talk about the October indie reads for 2025. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the indie release list for October. Now, as always, these lists do not come from me. They come from Rob J. Hayes over on his blog and AJ Calvin over on her blog, which I'll have linked down below. If you have an indie release coming out for the remainder of the year or in the future, be sure to check out these blogs because you can go ahead and put your own releases on there for the upcoming month, which just reminds me, I really need to put my own release on these lists. But as always, there's quite a few to get through, so we're going to dive right in. First up, on October 1st, we had Death's Dance. This is a Dreams of Dust and Steel novella by Michael Michel. I've got this cover here, which now matches the rest of the covers of the series. They sang the hymn of freedom. Now they must fight to keep it. The war of Namar has just begun. Willing to pay any cost to see his revolution grow, the legend of Danath the Namarite rises. With every slave freed and every Scoth slain, the ranks of his small forces swell. But it will take more than a rabble of freedom fighters and tribal warriors to end Scothie's reign. Much more. When duty demands anything, anything is what? When duty demands anything, anything is what must be given. Danath will play assassin, bandit, and betrayer. He'll compromise with murderers, befriend slavers, even bow and beg at the boot heels of the tyrants he's so desperate to overthrow. He'll stop at nothing to see his aims achieved. So goes the deadly dance upon the blade's edge of revolution. Strangers to allies, allies to enemies, enemies to friends. Any misstep, any hesitation, to sacrifice it all, and the dream of Namar dies with him. It's a very poetic blurb. I quite like it. Also, on October 1st, we have the Scion Conspiracy. This is Crucible of the Legacy, or Scion Conspiracy, by Mike Cahoon. And we've got a cover that looks like this. All the covers will be up here. What is the Scion Conspiracy? During a burgeoning era of exploration, a conspiracy of deadly politics and dark magic is abducting children from across the continent for unknown purposes. You know what? We're just going to have to deal with the light. Apologies, but I can see much better with these on. Disgraced Prince Cassius Roth delves into the tangled web of lies and violence, unprepared for just how far it stretches. From an exalted performer to the gifted son of a merchant sailor to a notorious outlaw and a hardened conwoman, no one is above being ensnared in the mysterious conclave's ambitions. Oh, I'm loving the sound of this. But are they only pieces in the greater game, or will they rise to orchestrate their own plans? As the greatest powers in the world fight for control over the new world, alliances shift by the moment, and no one's future is set in stone. The conspiracy weaves its plot, and nations are dragged along in its wake, forever defining all that follows in the first installment of this dark, epic fantasy. That sounds fantastic. Also, note, on the 2nd of October this time, we have The City of Sun and Stars. This is Mothers of Sorrow, book number 2. You know I'm intrigued by that series title. This is by Alex Robbins. The first line here just says, "The mother lied." I'm intrigued. On the 3rd of October, we have Circe's Coven, the inside story of the British Bureau for the Arcane, by number 3, and this is by Phil Parker, and it is urban fantasy. I'm getting it's a newspaper, I think, in the background, but very crimey urban fantasy there, which could be a bit of fun. Also on the 3rd of October, we had Hell Hath No Fury, Tear Down Heaven, book number 4 by Rachel Aaron. This is also urban fantasy. I'm hearing really good things about this series, and these covers just, I was going to say, as the kids say, slap. I've been watching too many reels on Instagram because I'm an adult, so I wait for TikTok to go to Instagram so I don't have to watch TikTok. You don't care. On the 5th of October, we have Warfarer's Rift. This is the Warfarer Chronicles, book number 1 by Robert Tilsley. Apologies. Cool cover here for this one. Endless Worlds, No Time. My name is Martin Drake, and I'm a teacher. At least I was until I ran into a dark alley to save an old lady from rabid dogs. But dogs don't have that many teeth, and unlike me, the old lady could hold her own, so when she slipped through a rift in reality, following her was my only choice. Now I'm barely one step ahead of a terrible evil, crossing from world to world with Blackbird, a ruthless, magic-wielding wayfarer with a familiar face. Everywhere we go, there's a new apocalypse. To survive, I'll need a sword and magic of my own. To save all of existence, I'll need the luck of the gods. That sounds pretty intriguing. On October 6th, we have Murmers of the River of No Return by Garrick Blake. This is the Lawrence Miller Ghost Stories book number 3, and it looks like this. Very creepy background. I do love a creepy forest right here for spooky season. On the 7th of October, we have Shattered Jewels, Tales of Wonder and Terror by Brian S. Converse. And this is, I already said that was the 7th of October. This is horror sci-fi. A teen trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, a disillusioned superhero attempting to save his planet, an office where something has gone terribly wrong, an old man tired of hearing his young neighbor cry, a story of true love under a blood-red moon, an heiress inheriting more than she bargained for. These stories and more await you inside. This one looks like it is a collection of 16 short stories. Also, on October 7th, we have another collection of short stories. This is by C.J. Daly, and it is the Tales from Cemetery. And I believe there is another collection of stories or another book in this series. But it just says, whether this is your first trip or your return to town, get ready for 10 blood-fueled nightmares. Read the stories Hudson Valley residents tell around campfires about Cemetery's dark underbelly. While the police chase serial killers, the streets run rampant with occult, paranormal, and supernatural beings. And while on the surface these stories tell the lore of the town, don't be surprised if you make some connections between them. Be prepared to experience an unhinged killer clown, a bloodthirsty monster in the woods, sinister killer phone calls, vampires with hidden pasts, star-crossed ghost lovers, seances gone awry, a flesh-hungry zombie, confinement in a basement, two best friends tackling a haunted mansion, and a shape-shifting woodland spirit. Well, that does sound like a hectic night around a campfire. On the 9th of October, we have Crimson Dusk. This is the Annals of the Incidental Utopia, book number 2 by E.P. Solus, and this is up there for my cover pick. This is just beautiful. The collision left them shattered, the truth left them enraged. On the 10th of October, we have Crimson Crest. This is the Werekey Chronicles, book number 10 by Sarah Lynn. This is progression/cultivation. Betrayed, murdered, reborn. One last chance to make it right. On the 13th of October, we have one that I have beta read, and it was just fantastic. This is The Outsiders of Orkland by Kenneth Feller. This is urban fantasy/sci-fantasy/gaslamp. What would you sacrifice for your family? A plague ravages the fringe, but a chance encounter with the orcs from Bagan Island gives Boel hope for a cure. With his lad, Willem, a dodgy crew, and a huge pair of stones, he sets off on a mission to once again unite the humans with the Horde. Or he could screw up and start a war. No pressure. This was quite funny in a way that I really enjoy, because people who've been here for a while know that my sense of humor is negative. But I really like the representation in this. It was quirky. It was just a lot of fun for me personally. On the 14th of October, we have A Game of Nights by Stephen Bowers. This is fantasy. It's called The Ruination Game, book number 2, and I'm really intrigued by this chessboard on the cover here. This is urban fantasy, coming of age, and humorous fantasy. So we've got what looks to be like a death creature in the background with a chessboard. I'm intrigued. Also on the 14th of October, we have Pheonix Rises Dragon Soars, The Four Guardians, book number 1 by Charlotte Salter. An empire in turmoil, a forbidden magic promising death, 4 lives changed forever. The emperor is dead, and his widow's rule drowns the land in fear. Soldiers terrorize the very people they should protect. Taxes bleed the poor, and the executioner's blade awaits any accused using magic. A mercenary haunted by his past risks his future for a chance at the family he thought he could never have. A noblewoman, bereft of home and memory, begins reclaiming her past to avenge those she lost. A disgraced commander hunts the truth behind his family's murders, leaving death and destruction in his wake. A shamaness is driven from sanctuary by the desperate actions of a grieving man. Through everything, the thread of a dangerous magic runs deep. Volatile as its wildest emotion, it forges bonds of loyalty and love and holds the power to reshape the Empire's fate. But trust is fragile, and when long-buried secrets surface, bonds may shatter, and vengeance may be all that remains. Intriguing. Also on the 14th of October, we have Verselva. I'm so sorry, Natalie. Verselva Blues by Natalie Kelder. This is the Inner Universe, book number 6, and within that universe, Balfour's trilogy, book number 3. And this is dark fantasy. And you know me, I love a green cover. This is just beautiful. Also on the 14th of October, we have Avia. Fangs of the Frost, Tales of Avia, book number 5 by D.H. Wilson, and the cover looks like this. I don't have a tagline here, so we're just going to have a look at this cover. On the 14th of October, looks like a big day. On the 14th of October, we have Void's Vengeance. This is Death's Disciple, book number 4 by Emma L. Adams. And I love the purple dragon. Just chef kiss to the background of this cover. This is a series I would love to get to at some point in my lifetime, because I'm quite intrigued by book number 1. And now we're up to book number 4, so I need to get my act together for that. On October 15th, we have Bounty Incorporated by Adam Holcomb. This is sci fantasy, got a cool cover here as well. It's a dream lives on while a will is strong, but a significant inheritance from a recently deceased father sure helps too. When Wynn throws away his easy life to open the galaxy's first bounty hunter organization and become a bounty hunter himself, he soon learns that a strong support system will be needed. A support system like an unwise mentor, her giant lizard ex-girlfriend, a woman trapped within her armor, a suspicious cyborg, a possible war criminal, several thousand beetles, and a 10-year-old insectoid with a pet. Money is never endless, however, and Wynn will need to lead his new friends down a dangerous path to prove Bounty Inc.'s worth and keep his dream alive. That sounds like a lot of fun. On the 17th of October, we have Songs of Broken Bells by Lily Lockwood, and we've got an intriguing cover here with the motley crew on the front. Maybe not a motley crew, but there is a crew nonetheless, and we look like we're from different backgrounds, etc. This is fantasy. It says the hungry flame inside Liaden has been silent, kept hidden for the last 15 years, but something has called out to it, awakening it from its slumber, and it's oh so ready to burn. Vassal, her best friend, and the one sworn to end her life should her magic reappear, defies his pact and spares her life. He vows to keep her safe, no matter the cost. Minnow, a follower of the Saint of Truth, was never meant to find themselves caught up in the wildfire of Liaden's life, but the Fates must have had another path in mind for them. Ayla, daughter of the god of entropy, promises herself as Liaden's only chance at surviving the torment of the hungry flame, though perhaps even the child of a god lacks faith sometimes. Their fates intertwined in the never-ending motion of the maelstrom, and it is their choice alone to decide if they will walk the road the fates have set before them, or choose another path. On the 18th of October, we have The Harvesting Angel of the Plains. This is Southwest Gothic, book number 1 by Bladen Mercutio. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. When you've lost all you believe in, how will you know what's worth fighting for? An ancient villain draws McCarthy Black into its spiral as a mysterious drought overtakes the region. When legends such as the Martha Mystery Lights and the Ghost Torch of the Chisos go missing, McCarthy returns to her witchy roots only to uncover that the enemy has set a target on her back. She finds herself in cahoots with the renegade meteorologist and closet necromancer, Remy Glamond, scholar and sassy librarian, Jonas Rodriguez, and charmingly dark cartel-associated Vincent Salmeron. Tensions and wit run high as this makeshift group of strangers race to uncover their villain's weaknesses before it unleashes a world-altering reaping. Those stakes sound pretty high. World-altering reaping? I don't know if I would want to be involved in that. On the 20th of October, we have the Sapphire Heart. This is by 3 scribes, and it is book number 1 of the Ernvor. So sorry. The Ernvor cycle. I'm going with Ernvor. So these 3 scribes is Sandra Miller, Abigail Bender, and Victoria Hungria. And this is epic fantasy. And this is my cover pick of everything. Of everything. It is just fantastic. It is written that why have you put this word here again? It is written that an Ernvor will save Elamar. 10 have failed. Will the 11th succeed? Elora longs to retrieve her wasting homeland, but everything she's been taught suggests the path is nothing but myths and legends. That is, until a vision from a founding dragon affirms her as the fated Ernfor. We're going with that. The one who will restore the power centers of Elamar. Now Elora and her assembled group, a noble-born Terramancer, a wind-harnessing griffin tamer, a fire-starter in love, a wide-eyed innocent, a deal-making rapscallion, and a mysterious dreamwalker, must align their powers and embark on a quest spanning not only a waking world full of dangerous men and terrifying beasts, but an even more perilous dream world, where an immortal being with a grudge threatens to steal their souls. Will Elora and her companions restore balance to Elamar, or will their realm be forever lost? I'm so in. That is going directly on the pre-order list immediately after this video. On the 21st of October, we have An Assassin's Skill. This is Assassin Without a Name, book number 4 by Scott Marlowe, and it says, an assassin possesses no greater skill than outsmarting one's enemies. On October 21st, we have Mirror of Argent. This is Blood of the Fae, not books. Blood of the Fae, book number 4 by Sarah Chilson. Masquerades, Monarchs, and Misalliances. Interesting. On the 27th of October, we have Let Sleeping Gods Lie by Ben Schenkerman, and this is urban fantasy. Is that a raccoon? That I have to know. I have to know what's going on with the raccoon here. If jumping off a building to save a raccoon doesn't kill Corbin Pierce, then his next altruistic impulses just might. We are saving the raccoon. I'm in. Pierce, an ex-Ivy League community college adjunct and environmental activist, has his hands full keeping the local spirit creatures out of the hands of poachers while teaching his students about history they shouldn't repeat, as if he didn't already have enough on his plate. He and his new mentee-turned-apprentice discover the murder of a homeless man. As one murder becomes two, Corbin suspects the involvement of the Hand, a secret cabal of high magicians. It won't be the first conflict with them, but if he can't find a way to stop them, it could well be the last. Even worse, ancient spirits are waking to wreak havoc on the city as the bodies pile up. To end it all, Corbin must decide what he's willing to sacrifice. If he doesn't, the city and everyone he loves will be gone. Can Corbin take the final leap, knowing he might pay the ultimate price? I'm not, huge on urban fantasy, but the raccoon has me intrigued, I'm not gonna lie. On the 18th of October, we have A Winter's Mercy by Phil Williams. This is the Blood Scouts book number 3, also a series that I want to try at some point. They say if you see The Stranded, it's already too late. We also have Beasts of Prey by Jeff Jones on October 28th. I may be reading the first one of these this month, and I thought we had all 3 out, or 3 out thus far. Turns out the third one is coming this month. This is the Preservation of Species book number 3. Earth has been devastated by a comet, and selfishly I'm moving on from there as I want to read it. Also on the 28th of October, we have First Hunt by Steve McHugh, another author I need to get to at some point. This is also urban fantasy, and that is the goodest dog on the front. I mean, it doesn't really look like the goodest dog. It looks like it could potentially chew your face off, but all dogs are good dogs. Miles Watson has been a vampire for centuries. When he found a small, scared puppy, he named her Church and took her home with him. Her original owner had been the kind of monster who Miles hunted to ensure vampire and humans were safe. He'd done the job alone for decades until the night he'd found Church and set about training her to be his partner. When Miles is asked to find a newly turned vampire who is on the run from human hunters, he knows that he has to find her first before the body count starts to increase. After months of training, it's time for Church to get thrown in at the deep end of her new life. It's time for her first hunt. Is the dog a main character? Because I'm gonna need that. Also on the 28th of October, we have Locks and Keys, a fantasy anthology by a number of different authors. Contributing authors we have Bill Adams, Tom Bookbeard, L.M. Douglas, Bella Dunn, Dave Lawson, Sean O'Boyle, R.E. Sanders, R.A. Sandpiper, Alex Schuerman, and G.J. Terrell. And the cover artist by L.N. Bain. And this is beautiful as well. Will a persecuted witch give the kingdom's heir what he deserves? Does the squad of plucky rebels find a way out of infiltration gone wrong? How can a street urchin survive in the shadow of an infamous gang? Can a thief brave the belly of the beast in search of a treasure that will never be hers? How sinister can a bond be between an orphan and her mother? Pirates raid a fishing island in the sky. A sickly girl pushes past the threshold for Demon's Night. An apprentice gloomslinger, I love that word, comes face to face with what he fears most. With her life on the line, a cook prepares one last dish. A demon girl flies to the city of humans, begging them to change. 10 unique fantasy stories by 10 different authors, dragons, sky pirates, and even sky pirates. Dragons, sky pirates, and even samurai inhabit these pages. Locks, keys, and secrets loom all over. And to finish us off, on the 30th of October, we have The Devil in the Vicarage by Tom Lloyd. This is the Devil Diaries novella, and this is urban fantasy / horror right in time for Halloween. Something bad lurks in the leafy heart of Surrey. Well, yes, obviously there's Guildford, but that's not what I... Okay, fine. There's a new horror lurking in the depths of Surrey. When Eve Carnell receives a cryptic phone call one morning, it's her new life as a gentlewoman wizard calling. The Carnells may be unpopular and almost extinct, but apparently they still have a duty. Her destination, Winterfold Vicarage in the village of Cranley, I can't pronounce that. Her task unknown, but how could sending Eve, of all people, to a vicarage possibly go badly? We have a smorgasbord of books coming out this month, and I cannot wait for some of these. What are you picking up? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.